are listening to Digital Denizens.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Digital Denizens and our new series, the Content Creation Corner. This is where we live to discuss and interrogate all things with people in the ever-expansive gaming realm. Today is March 26th, episode 3, and I am your host, Keith Whalen, aka the Gamer Stache. Alongside me, I am joined by Just Your Average Channel and the Fanboy and the Snob's very own Chad Paquin. How the hell are you, man?
Oh, gosh, I'm tired.
Yeah, man, I feel you. It's been a long week.
Yeah. But I'm ready. I got my not as good as I remember it Guinness.
Guinness is still a good staple, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, it's like drinking nothing.
It's like drinking nothing.
If you want an actual good Irish stout, drink Murphy's.
Oh, yeah, Murphy's is really good. Smithwick's is really good, too.
Oh,
Or I think it's called Smittix, I think is what it's actually called.
Every time I used to go to the bar, I'd be like, can I get Smithwick's? Like, what? I'm like, Smittix, I'm sorry.
Sorry. They're like, get out.
You're cut off. You're drunk.
Yeah, you're like, I haven't even started drinking yet.
I just got ID'd.
They're like, just get the fuck out. Well, anyway, guys, we got an exciting episode ahead of us. But before we get into the nitty gritty, this series, I just wanted to highlight, we're reaching out to streamers, YouTubers, podcasters, prop game merch creators, artists, anybody within the gaming space that's doing something interesting. We're looking to help people get recognized, connect them with others that can help get them started, or interview people who are experienced in the industry that can help those who are interested. Maybe get some insight on how to get started. Personally, we know how difficult it can be, to kind of start your passion project and get it off the ground, or even just trying to figure out the direction that you want to go with it, can be very difficult. So we're trying to make things a little easier, if you got basically a resource center for you guys to come and ask questions or collaborate with people. If you don't have anybody to start projects with, that can always be kind of like a big point of contention when you're trying to start like a podcast or content creation, something, or anything like that. So yeah, we're creating this community to help you guys out. Message us. You can message me on Instagram at digital_denizens. I think we got the Instagram going for New Game Plus Network, right, Chad?
Yeah, it's up. It's not. I don't think it's like close to being like actually viewed.
Okay, so I mean, it's probably all right to share it though, right?
Yeah, if you guys want to get a head start liking it, that'd be pretty friggin' sweet. So
yeah. So that is Instagram at New Game Plus Network. And you can also message one of us. What's your Instagram, Chad?
JYA channel, and then Fanboy and the Snob.
That's right. That's the other one. Yep. So you can message one of us.
The one I'm on all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I just realized today that you actually had one for the Fanboy and the Snob. Yeah, it's all right.
I put movie trailers on there when I can.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know if you guys want to get into our Discord for New Game Plus Network. That way you can kind of ask the questions you want to ask, get the answers you want for those questions, and kind of just collaborate or just come out and hang out with people. It's good to just hang out and chat. You can also share like updates and things for your channels too, which is, basically a good networking sort of resource. But now, without further ado, let's get into the nitty gritty with Chad Paquin. We're missing his other half. He may possibly join us, but we're not sure yet. He was having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, his computer's having a stroke.
Yeah, it's all right. But yeah, so all right, let's get into it. First off, how did you come up with the name Just Your Average Channel as well as Fanboy and the Snob?
Well, the Just Your Average Channel was actually my partner, Chris B. There's two Chris's on Just Your Average Channel. There's Drunk Chris and Chris B. We were at the bar one day, literally just talking about coming up with a podcast, and he's like, oh, what about Just Your Average Podcast? And we're like, Why not? It's simple. Gets to the point. We're just average people.
Yeah.
Like bullshit with our friends.
Mm-hmm.
Then we decided to make it a channel, so we have like a bunch of other different shows on there. If you go through our whole video thing, you can see all my failed shows I tried to have on there and everything. It's pretty funny. It's like a real network just with a bunch of failed stuff.
You got to find out what sticks, though. You know.
Yeah, we have it pretty streamlined now. We got a few
Yeah.
shows we'll get into later about it.
Yeah, we can
But
talk about that.
Fanboy and the Snob, pretty. Oh fuck! At first, it was called Cult Culture because we made the Fanboy and the Snob because me and Drunk Chris felt bad because we love movies and we just always want to talk about movies and comics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris B wasn't that into it, so we didn't want to like just keep polluting the Just Your Average channel with our stuff without him on it because me and him came up with the channel, so we don't want to make a bunch of videos without him because I'm kind of felt douchey about doing that. So
Yeah.
we made the Cult Culture show because Cult Culture was our pop culture show we had on Just Your Average channel.
Mm-hmm.
And then we both decided, that sounds too corny. That sounds like everything else that's on the internet, like What Culture and all that stuff.
Right.
So we made Chris and Chad like movies. And that was on for a little bit. But I have super ADD and everything, and I just want to keep changing stuff. So the original name, like we joked about, was Fanboy and the Snob because he's a fucking snob when it comes to movies. He's seen like too many movies, and he's always like, "How have you not seen this? God!" And I'm like, "It's just not."
Oh,
And I am obsessed with
we've
like
gone too far.
I love like Marvel movies and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I guess you can call me a fanboy.
No, that's
So-
super cool, man. I think it's very fitting for sure.
But I wanted the channel to be more than just talking about movies because we also were like comics, music, and everything.
Yeah. So it's
We're
kind of
gonna
like a culmination of just all sorts of culture within that space.
Yeah, and we looked it up. There's no channel called Fanboy and the Snob, so we were like, damn, let's try to snag that before somebody takes it. Because that was I like the name. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very cool, and I like it's a cool story behind it too. I think.
Yeah.
I was hoping there was, or else I was gonna be like, all right, that's it, we're done.
No,
No more questions. We're over.
He's just a piece of shit, and I like everything, so fuck him. We're also vulgar, so I apologize. I don't know.
Oh, man. So what is it? Well, I guess you kind of already answered this question, but you guys are basically in the podcasting realm, so to speak, and then you guys do video versions of each of the episodes that you guys do for your different shows.
Yeah, so the Just Your Average podcast has the channel has like our main podcast where it's pretty much cover everything.
Mm-hmm.
Find interesting that week that we think is funny. Not everybody thinks it's funny, but
I thought it was pretty funny.
and it's not always funny thing. Like we get some serious like debates going on the show. Like the other day, we brought my friend Jenny on, who's super left,
Mm-hmm.
and Chris is a little more right.
Yeah.
I'm kind of centered, and Chris B is like in the middle of the center and the right.
Yeah.
So we had like a pretty good thing going, talking about like a bunch of different topics.
Oh,
If you
that's
want to watch it, go check the channel out. It was actually pretty interesting, everybody's thoughts on stuff. But
nice.
yeah, we go from like talking about stupid crap like what animal you could beat up to talking about cancer stories and like LGBT rights and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And then we have the debate show, the Great Nerd Debate,
Mm-hmm.
which that one's fun. He's been on it a couple times, I think.
Twice now. Yep.
He's got another match coming soon.
Oh man, I gotta prepare for that still.
This one's cool. I can't wait till the tournament's done too, because it's more than just video games with the debate. It's like pretty much anything nerdy you can talk about, we're gonna debate. And then we have our Dungeons and Dragons of the season ended like a month or two ago. We're gonna be bringing that back soon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do? What do you guys do with that? Basically, just like live stream the D&D.
Yeah, like I don't know if we're gonna be doing it every week because it ended up being a
Takes
lot.
a lot of time, right?
When you play, you're playing for like maybe 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to get that done, get the podcast, and then me and Chris have the Fanboy and the Snob. So we try to film all of it in one day.
Oh wow, yeah.
So
Every
I'm filming,
Monday, I think, right?
yeah, every Monday or Tuesday, depending on schedules.
Yeah.
I have the podcast I do. I've been doing either the Nerd Debate or I'm trying to make seasons for those because there's just like so much stuff to try to film in one day.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
pretty much we do like 2 or 3 Just Your Average videos and 1 or 2 of the Fanboy because we have
Like every other week or something.
because we want to get a Fanboy out every week. Actually, it's pretty cool. This month we're doing our anime movie month.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about some really good anime movies that some people might not have seen, but then we're going to talk about Street Fighter 2, the movie.
Oh.
It's great.
Like the original movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not the live action one, like the anime one.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, there's a really cool anime. There's a few of them, but this one.
I think I've seen one of them. I can't remember which one it was. It's been probably years, but yeah.
On that one, like we're gonna get more into music and everything. I'm gonna end up doing a show, What It Means to You.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much like about music. Like first episode, I'm probably gonna bring my friend Paul on. We're gonna be talking about the band AFI. Me and him are really big AFI fans.
Yeah, I haven't listened to them in a long time.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's a very complicated relationship with them. The way they went from being like a hardcore street punk kind of band
yeah.
to going up to what they're now.
Like mainstream kind of pop or punk.
Yeah, it's not even like pop punk. It's just like kind of it's hard to explain. You gotta listen to it to really understand.
Yeah. I think a lot of bands around that time kind of did the same thing. Like, don't judge me, but I do like Panic at the Disco and like I do like Fall Out Boy, but I like their earlier stuff way better. Like it was definitely more like punk, whereas now it's like just like super poppy and mainstream and like auto tune bullshit, and it's like, what the fuck, man? Where did you guys go wrong?
Yeah, I never really got into the Fall Out Boy. I think the most emo-ish music I think I got into back then was My Chemical Romance. Had some cool tracks.
Yeah, they're still pretty good. They do some pretty interesting stuff still, I think.
Yeah, and like Dashboard Confessional has that song that was on Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
What the hell's it called? Vindicated, I am selfish. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Oh my god, that's awesome. Well, I mean, it sounds like, I mean, I know personally, but it sounds like you have a lot of like cool content under your belt that you've kind of honed in a lot more than like what you were saying is you used to have like a lot of stuff that just didn't work, but now you're kind of nailing in some like really awesome content
it's kind of getting it more like chiseled down. Like a lot of the stuff before was we had the Just Your Average Movie Thoughts, which became Cold Culture, which became Fanboy and the Snob.
Mm-hmm.
The debate we tried a long time ago, but it was hard to get people to come on.
Yeah.
Especially we were like a lesser known channel. We didn't have a lot of people to like reach out to. Now we're going to be having actual like other people outside of our New Game Plus network.
Oh, nice.
On the show.
I was going to say, then we met New Game Plus Network and everything changed.
You guys definitely helped me out working the kinks out with this show. I appreciate that like crazy.
Yeah.
But I have my 2 friends, Tim and Dean from Talking Back podcast coming on Tuesday.
Nice.
That one's going to be good because that's the first one without any of you guys.
Oh,
so I have to like, not look like an asshole.
You'll do fine. I think that was a big issue, I think, for myself too, is like, trying to find people to come onto the podcast, to the point where like I didn't want to do it anymore because like, who the hell wants to listen to one dude fucking ramble on a podcast? Like, I mean, I do listen to some where it's like a lone person, but like 9 times out of 10 when I go to listen to a podcast, I'm listening for like the banter between the people and like the conversation between one another that is interesting. Like listening to one person is cool and it's informational and it can be funny, but it's like, but you're not getting that experience from a podcast from one person.
I feel like the one person videos, they need to be less than like 10-15 minutes or be at least 10-15 minutes because I tried doing a few videos back in the day. I was trying to do like just testing out the waters of like me doing like top 10 type stuff.
Right.
But it's just so much more fun talking to somebody,
It is. Yeah.
having other people in the room and everything.
Yeah, it's more enjoyable. It's funny, like you can kind of just like riff off of each other. That's like the most enjoyable part about it. And I've done a couple like solo ones before, but going from like a 2 hour show, like you definitely have to cut that down. So like I usually kind of like I've done it in like 30 to 45 minutes or something like that. And like
Yeah.
that's not bad, but that's still like longer that most people will probably watch a solo person.
And I find myself, if I'm talking to somebody, I find myself a lot easier not to like mess up talking. I don't know why. Like when I was doing the solo
Yeah.
videos, I'd be sitting there like, I feel so corny right now, but I'm gonna try. Like I feel like
totally agree with you.
I'll probably do some movie reviews by myself here and there.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I'm gonna have Chris with me because it's obviously our channel, and
Yeah.
I love like the back and forth we have with movies and stuff. Like we both have like different views on like what makes a good movie, but we tend to appreciate the same movies. Well, sometimes, but we both like the Snyder Cut. So
Oh, I still need to watch that.
Matt and Leslie didn't like it. I'm upset.
I think she was just that wasn't even no, that wasn't Leslie, that was Matt. Matt was like, I'm gonna poke the bear and be like, yeah, the
I
Snyder
thought
Cut
Leslie
sucked.
said that.
No, it was Matt.
Oh, that's what I
Yeah,
made
because
fun of
then
Leslie in the
yeah,
thing.
because then Leslie put in a voice chat thing, and she was just like, I wasn't making fun of that. That was Matt.
Oh shit.
She was like, I was telling you about the whole package thing or whatever.
My bad. That's the problem with trying to drive and read in a big group
Oh, I
text.
know. Yeah, you're good. I don't know if Matt was actually serious or he was just trying to start shit.
Probably just trying to start shit 'cause he knows I love it.
Yeah, I've heard good things so far about the Snyder Cut, but yeah, I'd like to watch it. Um, how did you kind of fall into podcasting and doing video content?
Well, I've always loved filming stuff. Like all through my life, I've filmed things with friends and everything. I'm not the most tech savvy person, as you saw today. So I gotta brush up on that stuff. But pretty much like a lot of the times, like I used to listen to like Kevin Smith and stuff back in the day when podcasting was first getting big.
Yeah,
And even before that, he would do is an evening with Kevin Smith. Ever seen those?
I
Where he
think
just went to
so.
like colleges and he would like talk to them. And I always thought like this is cool. I like it's kind of like stand up, except for base. It's kind of like storytelling stand up, you could say.
I agree. Yeah, totally.
And then I started watching IGN, and they had Up at Noon with Greg Miller and everything, and I
Yep.
became really like I liked them a lot, him and Colin and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember when they were leaving, but even before that, they had the Game Over Greggy show.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, I was
So
very into those.
I watched that a lot, and I'm like, this is fun. Like, it's just a bunch of friends bullshitting. Like, seems like something I want to do, but I could
Yeah.
never find anybody to do it with until I met Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up going to the bar that night, and we were with two other people, and me and him were the only ones that ended up like staying in touch with the whole doing the podcast thing. Because watching like them doing it and end up watching like other podcasts, it's just like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And like a lot of my content I watch on YouTube is just like movie reviewers and all that stuff. And like I don't really listen to kind of fun. They're kind of funny now, and I don't really listen to them that much anymore because they're kind of like they've gotten very snobby. And
I agree. Yeah, it's definitely a different it's not the same sort of rhythm and process that they used to have. Like they know that they're big and
Yeah.
and you can tell it shows.
Especially after Colin left, I think is because he was the one that kind of kept it grounded. Now it's just like
Yeah.
crazy stuff can we say now or do? It's like, and I'm like, if you want to go into like hardcore being PC and all that
Right.
stuff, it's fine. But they like bend over backwards now to be like so politically correct and so like
Yeah. Well, because they know that people are gonna like fucking like cancel culture bullshit them if they were to say something out of line.
But some of the
Even
stuff,
just joking.
God, some of the stuff they used to say was hilarious.
Yeah. But it's like, this in this day and age you're gonna fucking offend somebody no matter what you fucking do. You
Yeah.
know, like, I mean, obviously that doesn't mean like just go and be like a racist piece of shit, you know, but like
No, like I don't put up
you
with
can,
racism and all that stuff, but
right.
I do agree, and it's nothing to do with racist when I say this. People have like their own mentalities towards things that were brought up differently. So like certain things we talked about in our last show, people
Hmm.
probably gonna get mad at that we were saying, and might get mad at Jenny, might get mad at me or Chris. But at the end of the day, like we're not trying to be bad people. We're just having a conversation. And I feel like it's a
Yeah.
lost art now with podcasts and everything to have like an honest conversation with people, because people are so afraid to like offend somebody or just like say something that might get them in trouble.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. That actually kind of brings me into another question. Like, um, how do you feel about like YouTube and like a lot of the social media and shit like that kind of like we were just talking about, like cancel culture and sort of censoring and stuff like that. Like, if you have a voice, like, freedom of speech and all that, but YouTube and on Twitch and all these other freaking companies are just having no problem with just like censoring it and like drip feeding it in like not the right areas that you want it to be fed through.
Well, if it's being put out there as like blatantly hateful,
Yeah.
then and it can harm somebody, I don't think it should be up there, but I don't think they should have the right to necessarily take it down unless you put in, because YouTube's its own company. If you want to put in your
Hmm.
rules and everything, you can't say this stuff. You can't
Yeah.
get mad when you do it and it gets taken down.
Right, exactly. Yeah. No, I
But
totally get that, but um I know like what you were saying is that like on your podcast, like you guys like, and I do it too on my podcast as well, like, foul language and shit like that, but it's
oh
like,
yeah,
like the fact that it's not being like viewed as much because YouTube is like, nope, it's not available to as much of the audience out there.
well now, especially now, they're making you do the thing. This is not made for kids stuff.
Right, exactly.
So
Yeah.
I feel like as soon as you put it's not made for kids, they're going to be like, all right, well, we can't have you in this demographic, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Where I feel like a lot of our demographic would probably be from like 16 to like maybe 30 would be
Yeah.
our best demographic. We actually have some older people. Like if we watch ours, we have like a good amount in like the 40s and 50s, which is kind of weird,
Yeah.
but it's cool.
Mine is too. Yeah, I think
Thanks.
mine's about the same.
It-
And I'm always I'm always on the fence, like when I put out a video or whatever, like, or an Anchor whatever podcast, I'm always like, do I put not for kids? Do I put that like, do I restrict it to 18 and older? Because it's like, and I always have to think like, the only kind of language that we're putting on there, yes, it's like, we're cussing and whatnot, but like, we're not saying anything harmful to anybody, I guess.
well, the fear I have now is like, say you're watching this and a kid ends up watching it, and
Yeah.
say we say like fuck like once or twice.
Yeah.
The mom or dad can see that and they'll go like, why is my kid's YouTube getting this put on his like thing?
Yeah. Right.
Especially now that they're separating like kids stuff, because there was a lot of it is good they're doing this. I just think it's bad the way they're like advertising our videos and everything,
Yeah. Right.
because there was a lot of like fake videos out there like that was like it would be a Peppa Pig video, but it'd be like a flash animation thing of Peppa like stabbing the family and everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So now that
Totally get that. And that's like, yeah, I think that's definitely smart on their end to kind of try and filter that stuff out. But it sucks when like, we're trying to do like we're trying to do a show and it's not getting, the public views that it should be getting.
like granted, my show could just suck and nobody wants to watch it anymore.
Well,
Or
no, but you also, a lot of it is like SEO strategy and all that kind of stuff where it's like, you can go and search yourself and you're not going to find it super easily either. You know.
just recently, actually, I don't know if it's just because like I'm in my network with Wi-Fi and everything,
Hmm.
but even like on my work phone, I was texting in just your average, and just your average channel would be like the fourth one down, and I'd be like, oh, it's kind
That's
of cool.
not bad. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty good then.
But before, like, you would literally have to type just your average channel and search for it.
Yeah.
Nothing to suggest it.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so I know Chris isn't here, but how did you and Chris meet?
He is my friend Andrew's little brother,
Oh,
which
okay.
Chris is my age. Andrew's a year older than me, and Chris is my age.
Mm-hmm.
But I was friends with Andrew because I met him after high school because he was friends with a bunch of my friends, and Chris was always there. And he
Yeah.
was always the kid I'd like talk about music and comic books with and movies and stuff at parties and everything.
Yeah.
But then I ended up working with my friend Andrew and Chris at our other job we have, and the first day we were there, we just like talked the whole day about movies and everything. And it was me just being like, dude, you gotta come on my show. He's like, no, it's probably fucking stupid. I don't want to. So I finally get him on the show, and he's like, that was actually a lot of fun. So ever since then, he's kind of just been there on the
Yeah.
channel. And then we decided to make our Fanboy and Snob channel just so we can
Mm.
just because Chris hates it when we talk about movies, and that's all we do. So we need an outlet to get all this out.
Just to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's super cool, man. So do you guys see this as like a long-term investment? More of like a career or kind of just like a side gig hobby? I guess.
I would like it to be a career.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think it ever will be? Maybe not. Just because I'm trying to be a realist in this. There's a lot
Yeah.
of movie reviewers out there. There's a lot of stuff where I think once we crisp up our like actual video style and the editing,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm editing everything on my cell phone.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
I don't have the computer down here doesn't have enough power and stuff. Well, I probably could end up editing on it, but I am using this app called InShot where
Mm-hmm.
it actually the only thing I can't do on it is do a picture overlay, like a video overlay, so I can have like a video here and put a video over it and everything.
Oh yeah. Right.
That's really the only thing I can't do. So on my phone, pretty much is what I do everything. I use like 4 or 5 apps to do like one video sometimes because I'll need to like use InShot for that. But then I want to make like I'll use a Canvas app for like a cool like animation intro and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. And then I'll use my logo maker to do all the logos and the thumbnails and everything.
That's
Uh,
pretty. I mean, not
like,
not for nothing though. I mean, like that's pretty. That's pretty fucking cool. That like, I mean, just seeing like the quality of your videos and stuff, and the intros and the music and how you do all of that. I think that's pretty awesome, and just I think it's just really awesome because that's very inspiring. I think for people who don't think that they can do it because they don't have like the best gear to do like a podcast or do this or that or do the editing for your videos. So like I think that's really cool.
yeah, the editing is really as long as the sound's okay.
Yeah.
Because we go on Spotify and everything too.
Right.
And that's why, like, for a while we weren't using the mics. We were just using my cell phone. My cell phone actually picks up the sound way better than this camera we have.
Yeah.
So some of our other videos, you won't even be able to tell I'm not using the microphones and everything. We just put them in front of us to make it look like.
Dude, I mean, when I first started doing the podcast like almost 2 years ago, like I did it on my phone through Anchor.
Yeah.
Like I was recording it through there, and like the sound was actually pretty decent. Like you'd be surprised, like the microphones on your cell phone can do quite a bit.
Yeah, and the camera on my phone it's a Galaxy Note, like the
Yeah, the
second.
cameras on our phones are better than some fucking DSLRs that you can find out there.
It's awful.
You
But
know?
like, the best thing I could tell somebody is like just set your camera up and just talk and download the InShot app. It's I think I paid like $10 or something, and you
That's
get
not bad though.
a bunch of for a year. It was
Right.
something like when my girlfriend didn't yell at me, so I know it wasn't that expensive.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
definitely
Like,
fun.
yeah, like recently, I just invested into like doing the monthly payments for Adobe, like for their like Premiere program for video editing, and then also Audition for audio. And which isn't bad. I'm paying like between the two, I'm paying $30 a month, which isn't bad.
I still can't believe they're making you pay monthly for Adobe and stuff now.
Oh, I know. Like my mom does a lot of art stuff through Adobe, like Photoshop and everything, and she used to just buy it once a year, like you would
Yeah.
with like you know, like Avast or some shit. You go to like Walmart and be like, I'm gonna go pick up the new Adobe program. You know, like
I miss my old laptop. I used to have like all the torrents of Photoshop and everything.
yeah.
I used to be so good at that. Now I remember I tried watching a video like how it is now, and I'm like, I don't fucking remember how to do any of this.
Yeah, it's you know I'm using for video I'm using Premiere Pro or not Premiere Pro, Premiere Rush, which is like a stripped down version of Premiere Pro. It's like a lot more streamlined and easier to use than like Premiere Pro.
And plus, what we're doing, we don't really need.
Yeah, it exactly. It's more for like and you can actually you can share it to YouTube
Yeah,
and I think like social media and stuff right from the app, which is kind of nice.
that's what's cool about InShot. Right when it's
Yeah.
processing, you could load it on like pretty much onto anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just a lot more streamlined if you're looking to do like YouTube videos and things like that, which it
Yeah.
does exactly what I need it to do, in pretty much like every way, and it's a lot, and it's like I think $10 cheaper than per month than getting Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was only $10 a month. You know, it's like that's actually not bad.
Like I'm curious to see what we're gonna do once, because me and Chris want to start filming like skits and like short
Yeah.
movies and stuff. Because one of the shows we have on the channel is Pitch a Movie, where we after we're done filming everything, we're both pretty buzzed, so we decide to like drunkenly pitch a movie.
That'd be amazing.
Some of them are actually pretty funny.
And I mean, yeah, if not for nothing, though, like it's just the hilarity part of it. I think is like the best, you know.
Yeah,
That's super
like
awesome.
oh, yeah, I can't wait to film the supercast with everybody. It's gonna be
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. I'm still thinking about like what we should do, whether we should do like a game show type of thing, like trivia or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to hash it out. But what so I guess what kind of motivates you to keep doing the podcast and different shows and things like that?
Oh well, it's not to sound corny, but it's kind of therapeutic, especially
Yeah.
having like my podcast. Like if I'm having a bad week, I just fucking want to rant about something, or
Yeah.
something's in the news that's bugging us, or we think's hilarious,
Mm-hmm.
or if there's and like I, all my life I've always just like I see like a movie trailer or something, I instantly want to talk about it to somebody.
Dude, yeah, no,
Like
I
that
totally
pushing
agree.
It's like, dude, did you see the new Avengers trailer?
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Like I do the same thing. Like that was kind of why I started the gaming podcast because I was like, I want to fucking talk about games. Like I want to be able to talk about this game that I'm playing with somebody else that's possible like whether they're playing it or not and you know, I'd like to talk about it with somebody and like this is the way to do it, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I want this to be a career. That's why I started the channel and like everything. And now I'm pretty souped that we have like the New Game Plus network and everything,
Yeah.
where it'll allow us to like branch out more and do all that stuff, get more eyes on us, and we'll be able to help more people out and stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's a good way to keep each other like accountable as well. You know, like if you know, like there's days where like each of us are like, man, I don't want to fucking do shit, and we're like, dude, you can do it, man. And you're like, oh, really? And you're like, yeah, man. And you're like, oh, sweet. And then we're just back in it. You know, it's like,
So from now on, when I see you guys like, I don't want to stream tonight, I'll be like, do it, you lazy piece of shit.
right? Yeah, it's usually a lot more abusive than that. I kind of sugarcoated. Help! Everybody, help! Call APS.
My dream is going to be when I can end up filming more than once a week. Because if I can get more like film time, more edit time, like I know the channel would be able to like blow up a lot more than it is. But it's just tough. Like I work, I got 2 kids.
Yeah,
you know, obviously.
Right. Yeah, life gets in the way, and you can only do so much. I mean, you know, I'm trying to like this week I didn't do any streaming just because I was like, I need to do the editing for the video I already did. You know, like I would love to do more streaming. I just don't have the time to do it all the time. You know.
Well, that's what sucks too. Like I wanted probably once I get both Chris's into editing, I'm probably gonna try to do maybe 3, probably like 5 videos.
Oh, hold on one second. Are you looking for Dalton?
Is he not here?
No, they went out to go get stuff, I guess. Get stuff. I guess they were getting like a desk for the bedroom.
How long have they been gone?
Probably like 2 hours now.
He texted me like a half hour ago and he said, come over.
Come over where?
I thought here.
Oh. Were you at his house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's so weird.
And he's like, bring pop vinyl covers.
Maybe they're on their way.
I'm so confused. Okay, that bitch. He just texted me. Stuck in the drive-thru.
Where at?
Drive-thru. He wants to know.
I know. Well, they said they were gonna bring some food back for me, so
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. I
No,
thought
you're
everyone
good.
was here.
No, you're good. I was just in the
Now
middle
that
of
we're
recording or whatever, but
Oh, sorry.
no, you're fine. I can cut it or whatever. So
No, maybe they'll like this.
yeah. All right.
So do you remember what I was saying?
Shit, no. Totally. Wait, what was I?
What was the last question you asked?
What motivates you to keep doing the podcast and shows? I think we said it was therapeutic and.
Oh, I know where I'm going. So at the beginning, like, I wanted to do the podcast. Like, me and Chris are really into Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z, and all that stuff. So we had our Supercast we tried doing, but that just didn't work because we didn't have time for that. Because at the beginning, he was doing all the editing, so he didn't have time either to do it all. But I wanted to do the podcast, the Supercast. I wanted to do the debate. I wanted to do a video game show. It was Just Your Average Power, is what it was called, playing off Nintendo Power. Then we had another one. I can't remember what the other one was. But I'm just an asshole. I just like to torture people and be like, we're filming. I am never getting tired, so we're just going to do it.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, I mean, if you only have one day to do all of it, then you might as well just do it all in one day if you can, which makes sense.
I think it was Leslie yelled at me once, being like, "You're trying to do too much."
Well, I mean, but again, like, I mean, you only have one day, and you want to be able to maximize the amount of like content that you want to be able to put out.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to do more as well, but I think like doing, the two shows we have, the Digital Denizens podcast, then we have, we're filming right now, which is the content creation corner, and then we're doing once a month the next gen now, which is like, but that's just taking place of the regular podcast.
Yeah.
Which makes it easy. We don't have to like be like, oh, we're doing both. So, I think maybe that's like a good way to do it too, is like maybe just kind of rotate, doing one that's like only every other week, one that's every week, and then one that's like once a month that kind of takes place of one of the other ones. That way you're still only doing the same amount.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking of the seasons. Like, I have the main problem is I decided to make 2 fucking channels.
I was gonna say, yeah,
So
like
it's
the way I did it was I just did it as different seasons under the same name.
So it would have been easy to keep it as one, but like I said, I felt like a douche not including Chris B and everything.
Yeah.
So basically, like I said, we just finished the Dungeon and Dragons stuff. Now we're on the nerd debate. Pretty soon that'll be ending. Then we'll have maybe some off-season things twice a month with that one.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I think it helps to kind of rotate things through. I mean, I think for people out there who are looking to start something, like, I would just, obviously just start with like one channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're looking to do a podcast or something like that or whatever, like start with that and then kind of work from there.
Be obnoxious like me. This is a good idea.
I mean, you do have a lot of good ideas. It's just it's difficult, I think, to implement that. Like, and I don't think you should be like hammering yourself. You shouldn't be hammering it, yourself, like because you can't like figure it out or do it, because it's like it's not always, you got to figure out the format and how you want to implement it and all that stuff. And
it's a lot of it's just editing. Once I can get help with the editing, I feel bad. Like Chris B disappeared for a little while, and then he came back, and then he came back in a couple months, went by, and then one day he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna edit this one." And I'm like, after like I put my personal touch on everything, I was
Oh
kind
yeah.
of I was drunk and a little snippy, be like, "What do you mean you're gonna edit? I've been doing this some time. You think you're just gonna hop in place and edit?"
Yeah.
Like I said, I was like, "Fuck, man, this is my." I feel
Well,
like I
yeah. No, I totally get that because yeah, like you do it a certain way. Like, same way like that I edit, like if somebody else were to come in and do the editing for me, I would probably have to like show them how I do it.
yeah,
You know, just in terms of like the overlays and stuff that I put in, like are different than, like, somebody might just put something else in there or whatever. Like I have like an aesthetic kind of look to the way that it's like that it all runs together. And like, it's your baby. You built that, so like you want it to be consistent, right?
and that's the other cool thing. Like I have 3 bands that are giving me permission to use their music right now. I got
Mhm.
the brunt of it, which is from Rhode Island. Big D and the Kids Tables from Massachusetts. Then I have the band the Melvins, which
Mhm.
how the fuck I convinced that guy to let me
I
use their
still don't
music.
understand how you manage that, man.
Yeah, so that's
That's
pretty sweet.
freaking
It's
cool,
the
man.
dude. I emailed the guy in charge of the record label that their music was on. So I don't think I can use their newer stuff because it's not on that label, but doesn't matter anyway. Their old stuff's better.
Yeah.
So I pretty much just asked the dude, I'm like, "Hey man, I have a podcast where we do all this stuff." Gave him the big spiel. I'm like, "Do you
Mhm.
care if I use your music for like intros and stuff?" He's like, "Oh yeah, that'd be awesome, dude. Just don't forget to like put us out there." I'm like,
Yeah.
"No," and he's like, he was all excited. He's like, "What music you gonna do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know yet. I just wanted to make sure before I did that. I don't want to get sued."
Right. Yeah,
And
exactly.
the Brunovik guy is awesome. His name's Boofish. I actually got him to play at my high school when I was
Mhm.
younger for like a fundraiser for Hurricane Katrina and everything.
Yeah.
And ever since then, like I just remember we would go to shows at this place called the Living Room when it was around. We'd help them with their gear and everything.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
yeah, they were really cool. And Big D and the Kids Table, just the guy David McWayne's awesome. I remember my senior project. It was about music, and he actually wrote like almost a 2-page thing, helping me on my project and everything.
Oh, that's super cool.
So he's just a really cool guy, and he didn't have a problem with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're all about helping the little guys,
So basically, like, long story short, before I went on that tangent, the music thing, I'm trying to like get all this music in the openings and the outro of our videos and everything,
Mhm.
and like putting the video, like the song name and everything, so people can look it up and stuff.
Oh,
Eventually, we're
nice.
gonna try to branch out to like a bunch of other bands, maybe some local Rhode Island bands and stuff. Be
Mhm.
like, hey, do you care if we put your music on our thing? We'll advertise you guys. On Instagram, I put a couple like I put the full songs on with like a bunch of pictures and everything, so people can listen to
Oh,
it.
nice. You know, this is just an idea, and you don't have to do this, but I've seen like some other podcasts do this. Like at the end of the podcast, maybe like have like a recommendation of like a band or something like that, and you'd
Yeah,
be like, "Oh, like I found this band, like I thought it'd be really cool," and you could play the song, like one of their songs that you picked,
that'd be
like
cool.
play the song out in its entirety at the very end, and then like you guys are done talking, you closed out the podcast. This is like your ending to the podcast. Have that song, and then they can listen to it and be like, "Oh, dude, that band's really cool," and then go find them.
Yeah, that could be cool. It's just tough now because like even sometimes if a band says you can use the music,
Hmm.
just with this new stuff going on where
Oh, with like YouTube and all that.
yeah, it's like sure the band said, but did the record label say you could use it? And it's like,
Oh, that's stupid. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it can be kind of tricky, I guess.
which is why like I'm pretty sure Big D and the brunt of it, I think, put their stuff out themselves.
Hmm.
And Big D is with like Sidewind Dummy and all of them. They're kind of like punk labels and stuff. So
Yeah. Oh, that's
I don't think
cool.
they would really.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah. That's cool, man. So I think we kind of touched on this a little bit with like the software that we're kind of using. But what kind of gear would you recommend like getting started with for doing like podcasting or anything like that?
Well, I'm so dumb. I can't remember these. Mike Chris bought the soundboard.
Mm-hmm.
It's something. B Springer. I think it was like $200.
That's not bad.
But I think you can even use these mics without the soundboard.
Yeah.
But the soundboard
Mhm.
helps, like, obviously make everything
Yeah.
sound better.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, even the setup that I have currently, like I'm using a Blue Yeti mic, and it's just USB to my computer. So like I don't have a soundboard or anything. Um, I did just get this like fancy mic mount for my desk with the shock mount and all that kind of stuff. That's new, so I feel a little more professional. But
Here we go.
um,
The mics we're using are the Toner Professional Studio mics.
oh, okay. And
Yeah.
you can plug those into the computer straight in,
I
or
think
is
so.
it
These are more we need to hook into the soundboard and everything.
okay?
I think it has. Oh, I take it back. This one's currently. They don't make this one anymore. You got to get the updated one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I bought these 2 years ago. They actually. Yeah, you need the soundboard for this one, but like you said, they have the ones you just hook right up to the computer.
Yeah, with USB and whatnot.
That's what we were using originally. He had a.
Yeah.
I think he had a Yeti mic, or whatever you have.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like doing the editing and all that stuff with my audio, like I find this to be sufficient. And I think this, like, you can get the cheaper Yeti mics, which are just they're just as good too. I think obviously like this is the more like professional model that they have, which I think it was like 130 or something like that. But you can get some of the cheaper ones that are like really good too.
If you want to start out, and if you manage to get a soundboard and everything, these mics are only like $30.
That's not bad
And
at
the
all.
sound quality is like actually pretty good.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Yeah.
And
And I
yeah,
think it helps that, like, you have the pop filter in front of it, which helps kind of mitigate some of the like the S's and T kind of sounds a little bit.
yeah, like even the way I've been doing it mostly, like my podcast is the most ghetto thing. Before I had the webcam up and working, I was literally just recording things on Zoom. So I'd have my phone as the camera, and I had a Zoom on there. Then I'd
Mhm.
hook the computer up to the microphones and get everything set on there, and just make it so you couldn't see the Zoom on the computer.
Yeah.
So you just saw like the one thing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's you got to start somewhere, right? I mean, that was like I put out the Monday motivational post or motivational Monday post this week, and then that was kind of like what I talked about podcasting was kind of like the highlight for it. And I was just like, you should just start. I mean, honestly, like practice just like you were saying, like sit in front of the camera, set up your phone in front of you, record yourself just talking so you can kind of get in the rhythm of like how you want it to sound. And like for me, like what I started doing was like I listened to a ton of like gaming podcasts for years. Obviously, you don't have to listen to them for years to understand like how a podcast works, like the format and all that kind of stuff. But you figure out your own format, like get sort of like an outline going, where you can be like, oh, this is what I want my intro to be. Where you're like introducing yourself and whatnot and everything. And then just grab like, it depends on like the content you want to like figure out the content you want to cover in that podcast. Like, do you want to cover some news? Do you want to talk about the games that you're currently playing, which is like what I do? So I do the intro, talk about like, for the first 30 minutes of the podcast. Sometimes it runs a little longer, but talk about the games that you're currently playing, and then we run into the news where we talk about some news highlights, pick like 3 or 4 topics out of the news. You kind of go into detail about those with whoever you have on, and then you just kind of see how you flow. Like you're not going to be perfect from day one.
Oh, God, the format of my show is ridiculous. Like when I first started doing the show, it was originally like movie news, like we did movies coming out in 2018, like stuff like that.
Right.
And then we'd have like random news stories where I'd read it off. I literally like just go to work, print out a bunch of news stories and read.
Yeah.
Like I'd highlight all the stuff to read. And then we just talk about that. Then it slowly became more of, we brushed away from movies because Chris B he's not the biggest movie guy.
Yeah.
So we kind of cycle a little bit of video games and more news stories. So for a while, it was just like a bunch of news stories. Then we'd have like funny conversation. But now it's like I'll maybe sprinkle like one news story in there, and the rest of the show is just like every week I just come up with like
Questions.
that's the
for you.
toughest thing, coming up with topics, especially when you do
Yeah.
it weekly.
Yeah.
So I come up with all the topics for every show.
Mhm.
So every week it's just me like,
But I think for you like you and me like obviously have like different styles of how we do our podcasts. Like
oh yeah,
but that doesn't mean like there's a clear cut way that you do a podcast. No matter who you are, like this is the cookie cutter like recipe of how you do a podcast. Like that's bullshit. Like you
I
can
tried to do a more like streamlined thing, but both Chris's hated it. Like the beginning of the show, I'd always be like, "Welcome to Just Your Average Podcast. I'm Chad," and we do the little intro.
yeah.
At the end of the show, I'd be like, "Thanks for watching, guys. Blah blah blah. Do all this stuff," and they're both like,
Yeah.
"That's so lame. Stop doing that." And I'm like, "You kind of need to do that sometimes."
You do. I feel like you do have to have that stuff. Like you do have to have an intro, I think, and you do have to like because if you don't introduce yourselves on like who you are or like how you can find each other on like social media, like I think that's a good way for people to find you and network with you other people.
And the thing I think about the most is like every episode you make this picture. It's like the first episode somebody's gonna see of your show.
Yeah.
So
Right.
always don't try to just put on a show. Just like there are weeks we literally just canceled doing the podcast because I didn't have anything to talk about, and I didn't want to just go out
Right.
and put out a shitty show.
I totally yeah. No, I
I'm
totally
not trying to say
agree.
every show is gold, but we try.
Right, but yeah, no, I totally agree. Like you do have to film, you do have to do the show, and that's why I have like the set intro and extra outro, because
Mm.
like you don't know like you can't just assume that somebody's gonna come on and be like, oh, that's Chad Paquin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I know that guy. Like I recognize the
why-
beard, you know, like
that's why with the nerd debate, I definitely gotta describe the rules a little better.
yeah. So but again, like you know, but you're also just like starting the great nerd debate. So it's not like something you've been doing for a while. You know,
Yeah.
it takes time to kind of flesh some of these things out and get them perfect. But I mean, that's kind of the good thing though about starting a show is like you don't have anybody watching, so it's kind of like your test bed for you know like you're like or same thing with like if you're doing like a Twitch stream or something like that. You're just starting out, so you probably don't have many people or any people watching your stream, so it's like good practice for you to get used to talking to the camera and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's why I can't wait till we start being able to do let's plays and stuff again.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's yeah.
I
But
think
I
the
think-
last let's play me and Chris B really did was we beat Mega Man X.
Oh, okay.
That was a fun one.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a
I
great
remember
game.
sucking up until the end, and he's like, "Why are you doing so good now? But you sucked the whole time." I'm like, "I don't know."
Don't judge me. Don't fucking judge me.
Fucking
All right. Let's see. Where are we on time? We're getting close to an hour, so it's time to cut it short. No. We'll just run through the last couple
I'm
questions.
sorry.
No, you're good, man. We had some really good topics though, I think. So what kind of resources do you usually use to find like viewers and whatnot? If that's something that you did.
Honestly, like Instagram,
Yeah.
I usually find channels that are kind of similar to us, and like almost all the followers I have, I personally message, or at least I try to personally message.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're gonna get some that just end up following us without me like branching out to them. But there's a lot of times like I'll look at these pages and I'll be like, these people look cool, and I'll message them, be like, hey, can you follow us? Like maybe subscribe and all that stuff. And I've talked to like a lot of cool people, like
Mhm.
people in movies and everything.
Yeah.
There's this movie I had wow, I'm such an idiot. I can't remember the name. I'm trying to like talk it up. I had a great time at House Harker or something like that. It's like a comedy vampire movie,
Oh, okay.
and it's on Amazon. I actually like it a lot, and I ended up just talking to the guy on one of the stars from it on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had like a big discussion. I talked to him about some of my movie ideas and everything, and he's like, "Oh, it sounds actually pretty cool." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
you'd
just,
be surprised if you reach out to somebody, you might actually get like a response back and be able to have some like really cool conversations with some of these people.
Yeah, it's definitely like Instagram. I hate Twitter because Twitter's more of, hey man, sub for sub, bro. Well, sub for sub.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I feel like,
Twitter's very localized, whereas like Instagram's very broad, and you can kind of reach out to like all sorts of different people and meet new people very easily, I think. Um, yeah. Um, any advice that you can give somebody that are looking to like start their own podcast or like video series or something like that?
always think you're gonna look stupid on camera.
Yeah, you
Oh,
will. At least like yeah. I totally
hated
sorry, I don't mean
watching
to cut you
myself
off.
at the beginning.
Yeah,
At
no,
the
I was actually thinking about that the other day when I was doing my motivational Monday thing. I was like, I listened back to like the first episode that I ever did of the podcast, and I was like, wow, I sound like a fucking idiot. But you're gonna have that moment, like like again, you're not gonna be perfect starting out, so like you need to be able to be comfortable on camera and get past that.
Yeah, like the first few episodes me and Chris did, like the camera just wouldn't work. It was all audio.
Yeah.
And just like nothing was like probably the first year, just nothing worked for us.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of technical difficulties.
And
That shit is bound to happen.
the best advice I can give is don't think you're going to become popular right away.
Yeah,
The only reason
it's a slow burn for sure.
that's like even there's this podcast, last podcast on the left, where they have
Yep.
some pretty popular guys on it, but they're like, we didn't become big until like 100th episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm not even at 100 episodes. I think we're next episode's gonna be 90 for us.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think the one we're doing after this one is 28, so we're getting close to 30.
And we've been doing it long enough that we should have been at 100 by now, but kind of.
I know. I probably could be at 100 too if I didn't take a little bit of a hiatus.
No, but definitely now we're like, Drunk Chris definitely kept me more in line.
Yeah.
Being like, we can't have dark weeks. Dark weeks will kill you. That's what gets people's interest. Like, why am I going to devote myself to this channel if they're not even going to be serious and put stuff out every week like they say they're gonna?
Yeah, that's a big thing is like try not to miss a week if you can help it. Obviously like if family emergencies or things like that come up, like I think it helps if you like put out to social media, even if nobody's like expecting you to put one out, at least like the communication shows that you're consistent to the point where you're like, oh, sorry guys, like we're not doing an episode this week, like an emergency came up and we're unable to do it. At least then like, yeah, if you go dark, like you miss a week and you're not even like popular at all, people forget you instantly. Like people move on to the next best thing already.
Like, I think there was like a good month we just didn't put something out.
Yeah.
Which that was awful.
Yeah,
That's
I know, like
having with Fanboy and Snob, but we've been better the past month now. Especially April coming up, where we're doing anime month. Like we need to. We have 5 movies we want to do. Well, 6 movies. It's 5 weeks in April.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to do like 2 movies in one day.
Yeah.
Like do a double episode.
Oh, that's cool.
It's making me fucking watch Fist of the North Star again.
Oh, I don't know if I think I watched it maybe years ago. I can't remember.
Get really like drunk or high and watch it. It's ridiculous.
Didn't they make a game of it too?
I think so.
I think they did. I don't know how well it was.
Yeah.
I remember the main character looking like Mad Max with that armor and shit.
It's not bad. It's just fucking weird.
Yeah.
And it just like the timeline of the movie just bounces back and forth. But I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. Let's see. If you were to change anything about the podcasting industry, like the way that it's done, about doing it, anything, nothing, it doesn't have to be anything specific or particular, but if there was something you could change about like podcasting or like video creation on YouTube or anything like that, what would you do?
I wish it was easier to network. Like I said, I try to talk to everybody I follow on Instagram, but I end up kind of doing the same spiel I do to everybody, and like 1 out of 10 people will answer.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's kind of I think the best. Yeah, that's pretty.
I personally hate social media. I don't like having to use it. I do appreciate it now because I met you guys through it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like without, I obviously wouldn't be talking to you, wouldn't be doing any of this. But I don't feel like we should have to like just try to shove content down people's throats. I wish there was a way I could be like, just please give us a chance without me having to put on Instagram that you're
right, exactly. Yeah, it would be nice if it was a little more natural, in order to like get your stuff views and things like that. Like again, things being like kind of filtered out because of like the type of content it is or the popularity. It doesn't come to the top because there aren't that many views on it. But it's like, how are you supposed to get views if nobody's watching it?
It's tough.
Or it's not there in plain sight,
With Josh Rabbit's channel, we don't have like one little thing we stick to. Like we talk about everything, so it's hard to like get a fan base of people that are like, I'll listen to this, opposed to like my movie channel where I'm hoping once we start promoting that, like it might be easier to get people to view it because it's like
right. It's a little, you can kind of put it into a category or something like that.
Like
in a
our
sense.
best viewed video on Josh Rabbit's channel is one of Chris's movie reviews of this movie called The Night Eats the World.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was probably one of the last cult culture videos we did.
Yeah.
That one, I don't even think that was one of my shows. Because after cult culture, we had the cult culture brand, then we had like Force Watch, and then Was It Good?
Yeah.
And too many ideas.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to kind of nail it down. All right, last question of the interview. I'm going to put you on the spot right here.
Oh, jeepers.
Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
What's your favorite video game of all time?
Speed up the thinking process.
Let's rewind.
I really liked Uncharted 2.
Nice.
I fucking love Mega Man X. Super Mario 3 is a game.
Wow, I said one game. What? How hard is this? No, I'm just kidding.
It's very hard.
It is a very hard question. I agree. Yeah, I think that was why I picked it because I was like, I want to make him sweat.
And I'm the most indecisive fucking person you ever meet.
Yeah.
Although I really do like Virtual Bart and the Super Nintendo.
Maybe that's something we should like maybe kind of hash that question out to be more of like, hey, what are the kind of games you play? Instead of being like, what's your favorite game of all time? Dun dun dun.
Like, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I really like Super Mario 3. Like, that's a game I
with that, man.
Always play all the time.
Yeah, but what's wrong with that?
People are like, oh, you fucking just pick Mario.
There's probably a reason why everybody plays that game because it's fucking awesome. Like,
yeah.
It's like, oh, of course you like Ocarina of Time. Like, yeah, because it's probably it's been debated actually on the Great Nerd Debate. It is the best Zelda game of all time. All right, cool. All right, well, I think that's all the time we have for the content creation corner. Thank you, Chad, for coming on and talking to me. I think we had some really awesome conversations and some really informational stuff, I think, for people looking to get into podcasting and all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah. Please,
and I think
please subscribe.
Please.
Find the channels and the links.
Please, my lord. Please subscribe to my channel.
Give us a pity like, please. Thank you, Lord.
Spare some copper for my channel, please.
Spare me a thumbs up.
Oh man, I have to say, like, I think you're actually the first podcaster I've had on this. Yeah, so I think that was pretty cool because we have a lot of things like we can talk about together that we can share our own experiences to kind of help people out looking to get into podcasting. So
I feel like we could have talked for hours.
And we can. Yes. And we will.
After this video.
After this video, of course, on the podcast, which you should totally go to that channel, which is called Digital Denizens, and it's on YouTube.
Don't forget to look up Just Rabbit's channel on YouTube and Fanboy and the Snob on YouTube, and find us at JOI channel on Instagram and Fanboy and the Snob on Instagram.
Exactly. And if you guys are watching the video version, we'll put the links down below for both Digital Denizens and for Just Your Average channel and Fanboy and the Snob. Thank you again, Chad. It's been awesome having you on. And thank you guys for watching, and please like and subscribe and watch more videos of us because we need you to. And Thanks.
Need the lifeblood.
Yes, we need the lifeblood. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you on the next content creation corner.
Thanks for having me.
Peace, guys.
You are listening to Digital Denizens.